Arc Raiders has been in the headlines a little bit today for a variety of reasons, so I thought we'd jump through some of the little news snippets that have been going around, including a few more pictures of the new map. We already know this map now is going to be a beachfront map. There's even a bunch of teasers in-game right now on the left side of the map. There will be a large hotel, which will be a point of interest on the map. Now, you may have seen these images already, the Exodus Hotel. That seems to be one of the biggest point of interests. The inside has been wrecked, apparently. And now we've got two more pictures. We've got the beachfront/bar and the swimming pool, which is interesting. There's a large slide going down a hill. I can't wait to slip and slide down that. That's going to be pretty fun. We can see in the beachfront image that it's a sandy environment with a few mountains in the background. I was talking before in my previous video, I wasn't sure if this map was going to be a smaller indoor map or a large map, with the hotel being a prominent POI on this map. Well, I think it's going to be a little bit of a larger one, looking at these images we've seen here. Pretty exciting. And yes, this map will drop on April 28th. Just like with the previous image teasers, this comes from the Embark newsletter for Arc Raiders. This time we've got a little bit more sort of lore for the update. We've got exit, rear, past the pool, skirting the ridgeline and down the steps, picking up a signal near the water. It's weak, intermittent, could be old equipment, following it tomorrow at first light. Don't tell Shani I came back here, she'll want a full team, but I want to find something to make this worth my while. Action, there's something farther down the shore, will approach. Now, I know this is a bit of a stretch, but this is my imagination going wild here. Picking up a signal near the water. What if they finally have some kind of like water-based arc? I don't know. I think that would be cool. I don't know how that would even work in gameplay. Maybe I'm just imagining things. It probably isn't, but wouldn't that be cool? I hope we'll find out more with these teasers as the days go on leading up to the update. For those wondering about when the expedition details will be coming as well, there will be more information dropping tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Embark Austin has confirmed we will be getting a blog tomorrow, so that will include the requirements for the expedition this time and, of course, the rewards that we can expect. Bear in mind, the window opens in about 11 days, so we really don't have long to prepare. I'm sure they're probably not going to surprise us with much in terms of requirements. The devs did say they want to go away from the monetary requirement, but no idea if that will be happening this expedition or in future expeditions. We'll have to wait till tomorrow for that blog to figure out what's happening there. There's also been a bit of doom and gloom over social media with Arc Raiders recently, and a lot of people are speculating exactly what's been going on, with the source of this starting with Forbes, who posted an article saying why Arc Raiders player count is down 80% in 3.5 months. And if you take a look at the Steam charts, well, this article certainly isn't wrong. The player count peaked January 4th, 2026 at 466,000 concurrent players, and it's consistently gone down week over week, with the Shrouded Sky update doing little to bring the player count back up. In fact, the recent update, Flashpoint, didn't really even do much to improve the players either, and it's still on a downward trend. Should we be worried about the future of the game? Well, as someone who has been doing gaming content for a very long time at this point, I don't see any fear or worry in this at all. This is completely natural for live service games, and honestly, Arc Raiders has done a better job than I would have previously expected. Take a look at Marvel Rivals, which is honestly, by all means, a very healthy game. If we go back to the beginning, it peaked at 644,000 concurrent players, and very shortly after that, it dipped quite low, all of the way into the 100,000 range. And as we go on month after month, the player base has pretty much evened out, with some seasons like the introduction of Deadpool in Season 6 bringing the player count back up again, and other seasons maybe not performing quite as well. Overall, the picture is there was a big peak at the game launch, and then it dropped down and sort of found its natural fit in the gaming industry. This is very, very common, and it's now happening with Arc Raiders. We should not be worried. The devs have already made a lot of money. They're going to be able to keep the lights on for a long time. The good news is a lot of people know what Arc Raiders is now, so if the developers can create some more interesting content and create a healthy, more engaging endgame, I'm sure a lot of those players will come back. Another great example of that is Helldivers 2, which is a PvE game that a lot of PvE players in Arc Raiders may have had experience with, and well, that peaked at 458,000 before dropping all of the way to about 60 to 75,000 player base. If we look at the past year though, it's had some pretty good launches, and it's safe to say Helldivers 2 went through some challenging development issues as well. I would say Arc Raiders devs have been quite a lot better than Helldivers devs were at the beginning of their initial success. So are the Arc Raiders developers slow? Yes, they certainly are in terms of live service games, but if we just zoom out a little bit and think about how the game may look in 6 months from now or even a year, the game will still be doing very well, and I'm sure a lot of great content and quality of life changes would have been added to the game at that point. There's nothing to worry about. It's just doom posting online. It's completely natural for people to get bored of games after they've basically squeezed all the juice out, and the devs just need a little bit more time to get more content in. I would honestly say if you're bored of Arc Raiders, go find another game. We are in such a great stage of gaming. There are many great games out there right now to jump into, so just take a break and come back when the devs have sort of got into the flow of things again. It's a difficult thing to do, to create a live service game that flows out and pumps out content at a rate that players are happy with. Just give them some time. I'm sure they'll figure it out, just like they did with the finals. Now, I also want to point out one more thing. A lot of people get caught up on concurrent players. This is how many players are in the game at this very second. And let's say people play for a couple hours here and there and then log off. So this number is a live number for those just on Steam, not on PlayStation or Xbox at a very moment in time. The best thing to do is go to the daily active user section instead, which tells you how many people are logging into the game each day and gives us a better look at how the game is really doing. Arc Raiders is still number 13, coming under Marvel Rivals and Apex, but it's doing much better than Battlefield 6, Rust, which is a game that's been going for like over a decade at this point, and that game is still considered to be extremely successful. A lot of people will see the drop-off in players and think that the game is dying. I see those numbers as actually quite a successful run so far, if you compare it to other live service games in their first year of launch. The Guardian recently spoke to Alexander Grondel, the executive producer for Arc Raiders, and he had something interesting to say about the game. Roughly 1 in 5 players have never knocked out another Raider, and half have knocked out fewer than 10. Later on in the interview, Embark told The Guardian that 30% of players are mostly interested in the co-op aspect, so friendly play. Another 30 focus on PvP, and the remaining 40 enjoy a mix of both. Alexander continues by saying that if it's so easy for people to stop turning on each other, then they need to up the challenge. Essentially, they created content and didn't realize that this game would become such a great experience for PvE and friendly players that everyone kind of just got used to the challenge really quickly and they weren't expecting it. As someone who played in very early tests of Arc Raiders, I can safely say that there was never any of this friendliness. Everyone was just shoot on sight. It was PvP. I think I had like a couple friendly, like temporary truces, and usually they'd end up with that guy shooting you in the back. Like, that was the traditional extraction shooter experience. And for all of the testing, it was like that. And then suddenly the game came out and people realized they could work together. And it must have completely dumbfounded the developers. So it's no surprise that they're lagging behind a little bit in terms of content. The truth is, the game is far easier when there is no competition from other players. So a lot of people have experienced all of the game has to offer because of that. I always say that aggression-based matchmaking helped more players experience Arc Raiders that would have never picked up the game otherwise. But it's certainly not a perfect system. It's allowed everybody to reach the end game without much challenge or friction, and now a lot of people are struggling to find anything to do. Luckily, the developers are aware of this issue and they're working on it. Development time takes, well, time. So these changes that the devs need to make are being worked on now. And like I say, maybe 6 months to a year from now, the game's going to look vastly different and hopefully a lot more enjoyable. One of those potential changes that the devs are making to make sure things are more challenging again is adjusting the arc. And it's really interesting how they're going out about that. In an interview with Games Radar, one of the developers revealed something quite interesting. We all know that Arc Raiders use machine learning and AI to help the Arc find their footing. Literally, the Queen and the Matriarch started through machine learning, and the way they move around and react to the environment is thanks to that. And that's why they feel so natural. But they do not use machine learning to determine how the Ark interact with other players. That's good old traditional game dev there. So how do they make the Ark more challenging as players get more used to the threat? Well, it turns out they're always making changes behind the scenes, and the way they're doing that is looking at clips online and seeing how players are interacting with the Ark and trying to up the ante a little bit. They said, we've done similar things with the flying indoor behaviors. We keep trying to make the flying drones better and better at flying indoors, and every time players start to think they're safe in some place, then it's nice if we can figure out a way to make the drones enter that space and make it less safe. It's not like we're training on player data. The loop is, all the game developers look at TikToks and YouTube clips and say, hey, that's really cool. Could we make this change that would really make people squeal? And then we make the change, and then people hopefully get surprised and have a good time. We hope to have more things in the future and have things in the pipeline, but they're not ready yet. So there we have it. The developers are working on more stuff to make the game more challenging, to have more content to make the game more enjoyable again. If you are bored of Ark Raiders, all I can say is there are many other games out there. Enjoy it, and then come back when Ark Raiders has more to offer. Speaking of which, next big update, April 28th with a new map and a new big Ark. Are you bored of Ark Raiders currently, or are you still enjoying it? Let me know, and I'll see you in the comments. Cheerio.